Conservation Minister Eugenie Sage says significant changes are needed to save wildlife in the Hauraki Gulf. It comes after a report released today by Auckland Council outlined unsustainable threats to fish and birdlife from commercial fishing and development. Mackenzie Smith reports.
The State of the Gulf 2020 report paints a grim picture of ecological destruction in the Hauraki Gulf Marine Park. Conducted by the Hauraki Gulf Forum, it says 22% of all the Gulf's seabirds are threatened, compared to 4% in 2000. Taiko, or black petrels, are dying at an unsustainable rate because of commercial fishing. Koura, or crayfish, are now functionally extinct, and mass mortalities of fish and shellfish have become common. Lead author Shane Kelly describes the 20 years since the marine park was established like this.
Millions of cubic metres of water and diluted wastewater have been discharged into the Gulf. Hundreds of new berths have been provided for boats, and yet only one new marine reserve has been established, and the application for that new marine reserve was submitted prior to the park being established.
The report found commercial fishing over the past 3 years was up 30% on the previous 3-year period. Tāmure, or snapper, populations have plummeted 34% in the past 20 years, and a whopping 470% more blue mackerel are being landed. The Conservation Minister, Eugenie Sage, says a working group is looking at the options.
People want the state of the Gulf to improve. We all want abundant fisheries. We need some significant change. Marine protected areas are one mechanism to help that, but it's a part of an integrated whole.
The Fisheries Minister, Stuart Nash, says there are plans to rebuild populations that have dropped, including Koura, Tāmure and Tarakihi. For shellfish beds, a new scientific survey of cockle and pipi habitats is underway. The report does note some improvements, such as more islands being free of pests and fewer whales dying from ship strike. But the director of Auckland University's Institute of Marine Science, Simon Thrush, says the negatives are overwhelming.
What we're really seeing a desperate failure at is managing fisheries from an ecosystem basis and conserving a reasonable proportion of the marine park. And there's been absolutely no traction in either of those places for that last 20 years.
The Executive Director of the Environmental Defence Society, Raewyn Peart, says any action needs to happen sooner than later.
We're making huge, these huge successes on land. That the islands that are pest-free are regenerating, are thriving. But in the marine area, it's a very different story. So we've got these wonderful, thriving islands, really in a desert. So we really need to start to look at what are the tools we need in the toolbox to really turn that situation around.
Raewyn Peart says recreational fishing may also need to be better managed. For Checkpoint, Mackenzie Smith.